welcome back to Then and There. I have some more things I wanted to share with you guys today. I worked in groups of 4 this week, not intentionally, but they actually, I have to be honest with you. Oh, actually I might go grab something. Hold that thought. 1 second. Video's still playing. I'm coming back. Okay. So, I'll show you that in just a second because I'm going to talk about something real quick. This last couple weeks has been really crazy. Not crazy, just it's been strange for me because I went through a stage of not knowing what I wanted to make. I wanted to make something and I had no clue what it was. I had no inspiration. I had no motivation. I mean, I was motivated. I wanted to. I would sit at my desk and literally just stare at my stuff and not feel inspired by anything. And it was really bumming me out. But then I started getting these ideas, mainly because I sat down and just started on something I wasn't terribly thrilled about, but I started on it and then it turned and took a different direction. And so I set it aside as I got another thought and started on it, and then I finished part of it and then got another thought and started on it. And then, yeah, it's just been a progression of my brain not being able to focus. I've been very ADD on my crafts lately. But I did get some things completed. So I wanted to share those with you this weekend. I was hoping to get this up yesterday, but they weren't done yet, so I plugged along and finished them up, and now I'm going to share them with you. So it'll probably be like Sunday night, because it's afternoon right now, and it takes like a day for my videos to load. For some reason, I have a horrible connection. But anyways, I will get this up, and they will be available in my Etsy store. So this is what I've been working on. Okay. First, I wanted to show you the sneak peek. I made these are textile journals, not textile, tapestry. They're all made of beautiful tapestry fabrics, and of course there's little pieces of strings and lint everywhere. But there were supposed to be 5 of them, but one of them didn't quite fit in. It is a beautiful tapestry, but it's different than all of the others, and it became something else. As I was putting it together, I had this great idea, and you'll be seeing it probably within the next few days to a week, and I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. There it is. It's going to be a themed, one-of-a-kind sort of journal like I've made in the past, which has more, more to it. These journals are... I'll just tell you about these journals first, since we're talking about journals. These journals are each made of beautiful tapestry. They have about 130 pages in them. Well, somewhere between 125 to 130. They do not have themes. They are not geared to any particular direction. I just took the colors and the beautiful fabrics and put together some papers and book pages and things like that and put them together. And I will give you a flip through of these real quick. I'll start with one. I need a little more space here. I really do. This might be a long video just because I'm chatting a lot. But anyways, they each just have a piece of fabric that coordinates wrapped around them. This tapestry has reds and burgundies, and it's not really red. It's like a rust color and gold. A little bit of a pale... I almost want to say a teal or aqua type color, and it wraps all the way around. They each have 2 signatures stitched in. The insides are just fabric. I didn't do any pockets or anything inside. Like I said, there's little pieces of string and everything everywhere. This is sort of a corduroy type. It's like it has ridges, if you can hear that. It has ridges on it. Just a paper tag. They all have the same elements, same types of book pages. This book page specifically, I really love This was a textbook, a geography textbook, and it has lots of writing on it. Someone wrote here, says, "Are you coming over Sunday after?" And then it says AF, and then over here where it's been erased, it says the rest of afternoon. But anyways, and it just has names, and I just love that. It did have some darker just scribbles, and I kind of erased some of those, kind of cleaned it up, because it just wasn't as pretty. But I didn't want to lose the handwriting. It was pretty cool. So it's got hymnal pages, vintage book pages. The ones that have really old paper that crack when I fold them, I reinforce with either washi tape or masking tape. It has fabric tabs, a little beaded charm pinned on here, and the beaded charm is not always in the same place in every book. This is not an old book page, but it was about cars, and it had old car advertisements in it, and so I put some of those in there. And everything's been coffee dyed. Some pages stitched together. A vintage, this is like a collector's photograph. They came in a set. This is a file folder, which I grunged up and inked, which you could put anywhere in the book. This one has time on there, or places to write. I like it's on there with a rusted paper clip. An encyclopedia book page, some trim. This is just cheap notebook paper, and when I coffee dyed it, the lines from other pages transferred onto the ones that were underneath them, and so I thought that was really cool, and I like how it fades out the colors. Some paper ruffle there, index paper. This is graph paper, which I coffee dyed. It actually, some graph paper, the lines completely just blur and run, so you can't see them anymore, but with that one you still can. A journaling card there. So I didn't do any embellishment other than some sewing on of tabs and fabric, and some pockets. Other than that, there's no other decorations, there's no theme, nothing like that. It's completely, it's like, in my mind, it's a, I wanted to say for a second, a blank slate. You can do whatever you want to with this. It's not quite. I've added a few things to it. I've added some flourishes here and there. But for the most part, this journal could turn into whatever you wanted it to be. It could be just for writing, or you could add pictures, you could add elements, you could add pockets. Old vintage dictionary pages, some beautifully coffee dyed paper. This is where the lines bled, and they were blue lines, and so it kept kind of that color. This is an old textbook as well. Some of them do have a little bit of writing or underlining or something in them. These are all early 1900s, like 1909, 1911, I think, things like that. Not all of them are that age, but the textbooks I know for sure were. This one was about plays, like Shakespeare. A lot of them were Shakespeare, not all. Some more stitched page, book page. Here I took an envelope. I just can't get it off. Just paper clipped an envelope on here, which I did some stitching of some of the matching tapestry scraps that I had, and added some other fabrics to it to make a little paper collage. Not a paper collage, a fabric collage. I don't know what I'm saying. Some lace on here. I stitched this so that it could make it sort of a tuck spot. It's rather loose though, but you could add something to it to make it stronger. And I will not go to as much detail flipping through the other book pages. Another paper ruffle there. This is just to give you a more of an idea of what's in them. More fabric tab. This also was not an old book page, but it was from a museum, and it had lots of images and writing about antiques. This is some very old 1927 music sheet paper. And then there is a vintage bridge score sheet. And this is just some coffee dyed paper, which I folded and rounded the corners to make a little journaling spot. And I took ink and inked a little bit extra, just kind of grunged up the pages a little bit more than they already were. So that's that one. Set this, find a place to put it. The reason I chose to do this is because I've had these tapestries for a while now, and I absolutely love them. I would have to say at this point in my life, tapestry fabric is my favorite. I tend to hoard it. Anywhere I see tapestry, I pick it up, whether it's garage sale, estate sale, what was I going to say? Some I've picked up remnants in stores, of course, so they're new. But yes, they are just absolutely beautiful. They have a feeling to them that's not like other fabrics. They're more substantial, and I love that. This has a beautiful green fabric inside. It is super soft. I don't know what kind of fabric this is. The closure is the same fabric. Just quickly kind of go through. Don't need to spend a lot of time on it, but you get the idea. There's the bead and another one of those pictures and folder. Just quickly show you some of that geography page. This was also music, the cover of a music book. They're like thin, they're like one song booklets, and I liked that. And the envelope again was just the fabrics kind of collaged on there. Lace on the pocket, lace on the edge. Fabric tab, which I stitched around this so that it didn't fray more, because there wasn't enough of it to fold and still be able to see the leaf pattern. I didn't want to lose the leaf on there. Thought that was pretty. And there's some more of the writing that I was talking about on that old geography textbook. Those kids, they had a good time with that book. They wrote a lot of notes in it, and majority of them were not related to what they were learning. But it's fun to look through and just see. And it has lots of beautiful maps. It's geography, so obviously it has a lot of beautiful maps in it, which I've also been hoarding. I've had it now for a long time, and I can't give up the maps. These edges, I guess I should say, they're tapestry. Tapestry has lots of layers of woven fabrics, and so they do tend to shed long after they've been cut. I do suggest if a thread comes off, just pull it gently till it stops. Sometimes it'll just go clear through. Once it gets to the stitches, once it gets up to this point, it will stop, and then you just trim it, and it won't fray anymore. I'm actually going to do a whole video about frayed edges, so look forward to that, and stay tuned, because I think there's a lot of information that not everybody knows. A lot of people do, but not everyone, so I just wanted to kind of go into more detail about that. So yes, they are stitched all the way around. They do have the interfacing inside, so they are stiff, but they're not stiff. They're structured, but not stiff. Let's put it like that. So they wrap around the pages beautifully. And of course, I left the strings on the sewing long. You could trim them if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you. This is that, I used this recently in the Gypsy Traveler's Notebook covers that I made. And it just has so many beautiful colors in it. This has just a simple canvas tied around it. And the same canvas on the inside. I will forever be picking strings out of these books. Tabs, some more of that book page about cars, old antique cars, encyclopedia. I don't have to tell you everything. There's the folder and an old black and white picture. I think you pretty much get the idea. I'll try not to chat too much. Let's see if there's anything else. That's one of those old, I love this old advertisement of car advertisement. Another one of those sheet music pages. Here's the envelope, some more of the fabric collage, and the ruffled sari silk dictionary page. Okay, there's that one. More strings. And if you do purchase one of these, then you will probably be doing the same thing for a while. Right now they have a lot of thread and fabric on them because they've all been together and they're picking up threads from each other, so it won't always be that way. This is a beautiful floral fabric with a black background. I need to just stop with the threads. Don't worry about it, Marcia, it's okay. I have canvas on the inside, which I inked up, kind of grunged up a little bit more. This is just a coffee dyed piece of muslin, which is really roughly cut and just grunged up. Some of that lace and the beaded charm, and it's just safety pinned on there. You could move it, and you could put it on the front cover if you wanted to. You could do whatever your heart desires with that. Here's the photograph and folder. Fabric tab. And the envelope there with the fabric scraps and some trim. And there's that. The inside of the back is the same. And those are the 4 of the Tapestry journals. The other one's going to be special, so I'll have to stay tuned for that as well. And then my other project this week was, this week? I don't know. I don't remember when I started this. They're Glassine bags, which I have coffee dyed and inked, and then I decorated them and filled them with fun little goodies for you to journal on, or to put in your journals, or to send to a friend, or what have you. So the front here makes a pocket. This one has some pink lace fabric with some crocheted trim stitched to the top. I've pinned on a little charm of a clothes hanger and a little beaded, hopefully you can see, it's got some rhinestones in there of different colors. This one has a sewing theme to it, so I used my stamps, excuse me, pardon me, used some stamps throughout. I did some stitching. I put on a little trim applique there and tab, and this is gilded, embossed. It's embossed and inked and gilded, and it is just a coffee dyed index card for journaling. This tag here is made out of book pages, which I gessoed and inked and stitched some elements on and stamped. They all have the same elements in them. They're all just decorated differently to kind of go with the theme. Some more collage here with a bird and lace, and I put a little tag there for you to write what have you on there, and you can journal on the back. I made these little flip books with just coffee dyed paper for you to write in, and they are stitched, and I left the tails long. You could add beads or charms or what have you, or trim them if you wanted to. This one here, I collaged some paper and sewn on some lace, and it made a little pocket, which I just, I got these from an estate sale, and they are original packaging, and it still has 2 buttons left on there with that are wired on, and I love that it says La Chic on there, so I just put those in there. And then this is a long, I don't know, top loading envelope, let's call it that. I don't know what else to call it. They were really long. I trimmed them down, and I stitched some fabric and papers and trim on the bottom here. I decorated the little flap of this one with some pattern paper and lace and fabric, and it just has a journaling spot inside. And then I made an envelope and decorated the front of it. I did some more stamping, and this one has some inked up seam binding on it, and they all have a coffee dyed place on the front to write either a name or something of that nature, or you could journal on that part as well. And inside is a coffee dyed piece of paper, which I have decorated. This one has trims and some vintage, what is this called, measuring tape, some pattern paper, sewing pattern paper, and some fabrics. And I did some stamping up here with some little thimbles and buttons. So this one's the sewing themed one. Let's get all this out of the way, and I can show you the others. This one has a floral theme. That does not belong on there. Floral theme, so I did some fabric on the front as well, and this is all stitched around, so it's not going to pop off of the bag or anything. I did some leaf trim here, pinned on a little pink flower and a leaf. Here's the tag here. This is a hand-carved stamp, which I stamped on there in some fabric. You can journal on that. The index card with another little collage on it. And inside, the tabbed, I'm going to just call them tabbed index cards. I don't know what else to call them. A little collage here on the envelope with some trim, a little applique. This is some vintage wallpaper. Inside is just a little card for journaling. Here's the notebook on this one. Some trim. Here's the envelope with lace. This paper is avocado dyed, not coffee dyed, sorry. And a little bit of lace down here. Inside is also avocado dyed paper. I do apologize for this. This accidentally got onto my ink pad as I was inking. Or I was moving it out of the way. I don't know, but I do apologize for that, but I don't think it takes away from it a whole lot. It just adds to it. Some stamping there, and some collage with some crocheted doily and fabrics. That's that one. This is just a floral theme. This one I had to carry on with the gypsy theme, or boho, or whatever you want to call it, because I had all this stuff still on my desk from the traveler's notebooks that I made, and I couldn't stop playing with them. So some more of that tapestry and some sari silk, and pinned on here is a little gypsy bell and a charm, beaded charm. And I did a paper, like a quilted paper collage thing here, which has embossing and some gilding on top of that. Some more sari silk. That's the index card. Did some stamping there. I always think of traveling and being on the move, and that makes me think of compasses. So I did that, and this is some eyelash trim and some, it's called velvet. It's fuzzy. And some more Sari silk. I think it's called velvet. I don't remember. And in here, this is the tabbed index card with this really bright patterned paper and some fabric. Here's the note paper with more bright colors, or the note pad, sorry. And the long envelope, a little bird and some ribbon. This is also embossed paper. It's thin, what's called onion skin paper, and I gilded that as well, decorated the tab. Inside, oh, this one is different because it has a little die cut banner thing on it, but you can still journal on that. And then here's the envelope. Has this is some tea bag fabric and some, I hope you can see that, this is kind of a shimmery paper, and this has some stenciling on it. Inside, this paper has also a bit of stenciling, which you can see on the reverse side, as well as this side, and some stamping and some of that pretty leaf, gold leaf fabric. It's the gypsy one, which I think these would be really good companions with journals. Or they could be, if you just want to journal about, say, like a weekend trip or an experience or something like that, this would be a great place to just store all of your thoughts in one place. Index card. This one has a theme of sort of communication, I guess you'd call it. It has to do with writing and typing and, what's the other? There phone calls, like vintage phones, because nowadays we text, we don't always, or email or what have you, we don't talk to people face to face, and we definitely don't write letters on paper anymore for the most part. Some people do, but not very many. So I did some collaging there, some stamping, and stamp there. This is a piece of leather stitched on there, and some more of that eyelash trim and fabric. This has eyelash trim there as well as a cluster of some lace and fabrics and a little key and bead charm pinned on. Here's the tab index card. I did some stamping for like postage stamp type things with some lace, and I stamped some lines on the back. Here's the note card. This is a little piece of canvas, says "This makes me happy." A typewriter on there with some typewriter key paper in the background. And this paper here is actually, this is like an old rotary phone image. And that's the paper. The envelope, I have the alphabet stamped down here, a little Part Avion stamped there with some collage. There's another piece of that rotary phone paper there for journaling. And here's the envelope. It just is pretty simple. Coffee dyed paper and some of that tea bag paper, and I did some different kind of stitching there. And inside, did some stamping and some really pretty, this is washi tape and some fabric collaged on there. And the envelope is also made out of that same rotary phone dial paper. Okay, so this is what I have been working on this week. Each one of the envelopes has 6 different elements inside it and fabric pocket on the front. And so I will be listing these in my Etsy this evening sometime, hopefully. I don't know, I have other things I have to do this evening as well. So if not tonight, they will definitely be up tomorrow morning. And that's that. That's all I have for this week, and it's a 30-minute video. Wow. Okay. So I will stop gabbing and just say thank you for watching. Bye, guys.